and Woody likes the crooked cock.
Well, PSA for people at home, when the cop is chasing you and he says, put your hands up, don't immediately show him your cool gun. Not a good idea.
Just hands up.
Pro tips here on
Hands
PKA. I think we brought in an expert for that.
I've been stopped by police. I've been stopped by police plenty of times when I had a gun on my person or in my vehicle, and never one of those times did I say, "Hey, do you want to see a gun? You want to see a real cool gun? It's got tiger stripes on it. Check out the barrel. It's got a."
Mark, do you want a brownie before you go to bed?
Hands on the steering wheel the whole fucking time, like yes sir, no sir, yep, all right. But
eye contact.
I've done all that and still got chastised by a cop. So in my concealed carry course, they told us not to tell the cop you have a gun. I have a gun is a thing that could make a cop unhappy.
They told you that?
What they told us to do instead was to hand your concealed carry license with the driver's license. That was your method of saying I have a gun. Then you answer any questions about it. And this cop did not like that at all. He thought I was hiding or something. Like, who hands over a concealed carry license as a method of hiding it, you know? But
guess where it is, copper? Riddle me that.
But yeah, he chastised me, and I was trying to explain to him this is how they told us to do it in the concealed carry course, and he said, he was speaking on behalf of all police. That is not what you do. You tell the cop that I have a gun.
Yeah,
I don't know what's right.
That's a situation where I become a smart ass though. Like we got pulled over that time in Florida. I had like brand new tags on the SUV I was in. I just bought it, and it was me and my cousin Scott and this girl that I was returning to her house, and the car was full of guns. I mean, like 7 ARs and 8 handguns or something like that. A couple thousand rounds of ammunition. And they shine the lights in, they see it, and the guy goes, "Guns!" And they're like, "All right, everybody step out of the vehicle." And they're running all the guns and everything. They're running the car's registration and our IDs and our backgrounds. And finally come to the conclusion that everything here is A-okay. And they're like, "You really shouldn't. You can't ride around with your guns in there like that." I'm like, "Am I breaking any laws?" They're like, "Well, no." I'm like, "Well, I think I'll put them wherever I want then." Like I like my handguns rolling around on the floorboard in the back. That's how I like them. I like my AR stacked up 5 deep in the trunk. Like that's how I like my AR stacked.
I should close my eye, put a hand where the passenger's feet go, and find at least 2.
That was the situation, 100%. And it was more so because Scott was in the back seat, and when we got pulled over, he didn't like the fact that there were guns like stuck between the seats, like almost in a drawable position. So he started pulling them out of there and pushing them as far away from himself as he could, which meant the floorboards were full of handguns. And then he's just sitting there like this, like terrified. He never does well under those situations, under the bright lights of police flashlights. But I was just like, no, if I'm not breaking any laws, that's where they're going to stay. I don't have any kids in here. Like I like having piles of handguns rolling around.
So I'm like the same way. Like I used to like to keep I had, rifles all in the back, 3 or 4 AKs, whatever. I'm transporting them to from the range. We're doing filming, whatever. And turns out you can't do that in South Carolina. And I realized that now because I was held at gunpoint by police for about 10 minutes at a traffic stop at one point because I got pulled over. I don't even know what I was doing. I don't know speeding, but I was like, I was in the middle of fuck nowhere, South Carolina, and I get pulled over by Officer Tren, and he just like jacked fucking 55-year-old, and I'm like, yes sir, like I have a concealed carry permit. Yes, I am carrying. I do have guns in the vehicle, like being as compliant as possible. Yeah, and he sees puppy, and he sees he sees one of the guns, I guess, at the floorboard. And immediately draws down and is pointing the gun at my fucking neck. And he's like, "Don't fucking move, whatever. I have my license in my wallet in my hand." He's like, "Put your hands on the ceiling." So I'm like, got my hands on the ceiling, whole 9 yards. He's like, "I'm waiting for backup to come. I've got 3 or 4 units on the way, blah, 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 and all this shit." And he's like, "You make one fucking move." And he's saying all the bad lines. And I'm like trying to joke with him to cool him down because it was like 10 minutes. I was at gunpoint with just this dude. He's saying all the lines like, "I don't know who the fuck you are, but I'm going home to my family." I'm like, "You know what? I would love that. That would be awesome."
You're not like, "No, you're not."
We'll see about that.
Know what's coming. You don't know who you pulled over, sir. Like,
"Oh, you only sent for 3? I sent for 10.
But like, I was making jokes and shit because I'm just like, well, I appreciate your trigger discipline. He's just trying to cool the guy down. Like, hey, I'm not a shithead. Like, I'm trying to go visit my parents. But yeah, a couple officers did show up, and they kind of like figured out what the fuck just happened. And I was kind of like, yeah, homeboy, is he okay? Like, everything okay at home? Well, blah blah blah. And they're like, well, technically, yes, you were violating state law.
Well, his whole family died in a fire 3 years ago. And it's like, oh no. He was crazy the whole time.
His whole family had just died in a gunfight yesterday. No, but apparently they had apparently it was against the law the way I was transporting. I was unaware of that. It was perfectly legal in North Carolina. I just crossed state lines, and they're like, yeah, but I kind of could hear it in their voice. It's like, homie should not have pulled his gun on you and kept you at gunpoint this whole time. So we're very sorry. Please get on your way. So I'm like, all right, well, at least that's cool. I'll take it.
So they acted like he was kind of the Spurg of the group. I bet like when they got the call from like Officer Trend, they're like, another guy's being held at gunpoint. We got to go.
Let's hurry up. Let's hope he's alive when we get there.
Oh fuck! Yeah, like that's the third one this week. Oh, and his name's Herrera. Fuck.
Oh, I'm going back home to my family. Oh, I'm sure you miss your wife Samantha and your daughter Jessica. Just like taking a guess on this. Your head blown off. I was doing a bit. Sorry.
No, I'm not very funny, but comment section tells me all the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they can be super jumpy. I get it to some extent, but like I had I think I was in Oregon, got pulled over by a female trooper, and I told her, she asked for my registration or insurance card, I don't remember which, but it was in my glove box, and I was like, my handgun's in there, just so you know. I've got a lot of guns in the car. I was like, I don't even. She's like, how many? I'm like, I don't know. I don't like keep a proper count. Somewhere between 12 and 15, maybe. I really don't know. But yeah, my handgun's in the glove box with my registration. I'm gonna have to reach right next to a gun to give you that. She's like, that's fine. I got one too. Yeah. Like just gave no fucks. Like she got it. Like, that's the kind of calm demeanor that I like appreciate from a cop. Like she was real chill about it.
I find that disclosure is usually the key, because like I find that cops like usually are super chill, especially small town Southern cops. They're like, as soon as you tell them, they usually have that canned line like, well, as long as you don't touch yours, I won't touch mine.
Sure. Yeah.
It's super chill.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's all the times I've had real issues with that, I was away from home, and it was like Georgia State Patrol or something like that. Cause like when I was driving to Florida that time, and I had the gun slap full of cars again that looked funny. I had $30,000 in my passenger seat because I was going to buy a boat, and I had the car was brand new with stickers on it again, different car.
30 grand in cash, 12 guns.
Yeah, and I had some scary shit in the back. I think I might have had a M249 in my trunk or something. And so yeah, they were just like, it's a belt-fed machine gun, a saw.
Very cool.
And so they were just like, what happened was a trucker called in and said that I was waving a pistol while I was driving through traffic. Which,
were you?
Of course not. I had my pistol.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I was and I'm just like, I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, did I do anything that could even be perceived that way? Like, did I wave my hand? Did I fart and I'm waving it out the window or something? Like what happened here? No, none of that happened. But there was a 9mm sitting flat in the passenger seat. And that's what he saw. He saw a gun in a car seat down below him, and he called the cops on me. And they all showed up with hands-on pistols, not drawn, but maybe they were drawn. I don't remember. I remember they were hands-on guns though. And it was just like, we can call the dog, or you can just let us search. And I'm like, I don't want a dog scratching my new car. They fucking search. Yeah. I got nothing to hide.
The funny part is Karens like that who will do their part to end gun violence and report this guy who's got a gun, and has police go show up and kill somebody.
Yup.
Yeah, often. Yeah.
Task failed successfully.
Well, one more gun owner off the streets. Probably what Karen would think. He was just going to shoot somebody with it anyway. He's just going to murder someone.
Yeah, that shit's annoying. So I was watching I really enjoyed, by the way, I saw a couple more though, the AR guy versus AK guy. It's like watching.
Sorry to hear that.
It's like getting really into a subreddit on a niche hobby that you don't get yet. And like after you get to like page 3, you're like, I get the jokes. Like,
Right.
Like I get what's happening. Like I watched the first episode and I'm like, okay, I get it. So like AR guys wear scarves and like talk about stats, and AK guys are like, let's go shoot things for cheap and have fun. And like, this was just total impulse purchase, like thought. I just started looking right after watching that video. I'm like, what kind of AK could I buy if I really want an AK? And so I wanted to ask you, I don't have an AK. If I wanted to buy one, what kind? Where do I look? Treat it like I don't know a thing.
So American stuff is usually pretty shit. Like American, not American built stuff, but like American fully made here. They cut a lot of corners. They do a lot of casting, a lot of just really dog shit manufacturing because they're like, oh.
I ended on that note. I love the
That was the
wordplay.
best
Very
shit
nice.
I've ever heard.